It's late and I'm very tired, and I know that I've spent most of the day like working, and you're probably like, it's a Saturday. Yeah, I know, but it's the part time. I have a part time alongside my full time, alongside this, so I get my time gets eaten up a lot through the day. But I was just kind of thinking about how listening to music and making art can be like memories. And I say that because like I feel like I'm transported to a different time when like a song comes on that I used to listen to at a certain time or like whatever. It's like so interesting to me that you can kind of transport back to a time where you've heard that song and like have it be close to a memory. I think of like the early 2010s like electronic music that makes me like put me back in like high school and like the high school vibe and like when I was listening to it and what games I was playing, and it feels like it opens up a whole new branch of like your mind about like something that you just remembered in a memory. And it's find it like interesting and important for what like I kind of go through day to day, because I try not to over consume music because I'm a musician, and also because I just like don't listen to music as much on my own anymore. And I was kind of saying this in a previous video, but I like when I'm making a lot more music, I tend to stop kind of listening to music. And when I'm not really making music, I listen to more music. And I think that's because like I find that we can like over consume things, especially things that we're interested in. And then I start to lose the identity of what I'm trying to make. And like my grandfather, who just recently passed away, he always said that he used to work on music, and he would always say like make sure that you kind of step back and listen to a little less music as you think about your songs and everything, because you don't want to accidentally copy or emulate someone and not be authentic to your sound. And also just like I think the overconsumption of content can make us pretty like burnt out and tired, especially with the way that a lot of things work with that. Just because when you are like constantly looking at other people's music or art or whatever, writing, and comparing yourself to them over and over and over, it kind of either can sway how you actually make your art and doubt what like if your art is how you want it to be done, and it can also just make you discouraged and not want to do anything. So it's one of those things where I feel like music and art and writing is so personal, creates those memories, even like pop music or music you hear on the radio, because it can be linked to a memory so easily, especially like art, like seeing art or reading a nice poem or book. It sticks with you for a long time, and that's kind of how I feel about music. And like with my grandfather, like me and him used to listen to like 60s and 70s music. He's really big on 60s, 70s music. We used to listen to it all the time. And like if I hear it on Spotify, I instantly think of my grandfather, and like he's linked to um, that thing that I have an interest in, or that song. And it comes on, and I like can put back to a memory with him of us like singing Temptations and My Girl and all these songs together, and just like the fun of that moment is captured in a song. And that's why I find it so important, like having that experience just with my granddad. I ended up writing a whole song kind of, or like creating a whole song and naming it cassettes, because I was just like the seeing a cassette gives me like the memory of my granddad, because he was into cassettes and he was into music like 60s 70s music. So it's like music can like capture a memory in a little capsule and save that for you. And I find it so important because when I make music, I want it to like, when you listen to it, I want it to saved to a memory that you have, maybe of an art piece that you liked or something you enjoyed or anything like that. I think I would be so happy with that, because that just makes it timeless. Basically, every person that hears it after that, it can touch them in some way. Um, Listening to that music kind of has influence on how I make music today, like doing more of the beach tone type of vibe, the lo-fi type of vibe. But that's like something that listening to my granddad, that's how I like felt the music should be. And like that's one of the things that I find really beautiful about music and art in general. So it's awesome to be a creative and like kind of live out the memory or those those music experiences that push you to make music and do the creative thing that you do, or art or whatever, because like you can imprint that, the creativity you have, the fun that you have, onto someone else and bring them memories and joy, and that makes it timeless. Like even now we're listening to music from the 60s, from the 50s. We're listening to older records, and those people get to live on because it still touches people no matter what generation it is, what time period it is. And that's the goal that I want to have for being a creative in the first place. That's what I want. I want to be able to make timeless memories for people and offer something to give them happy moments when they listen to a track, and to kind of transport them to another world, because that's what it does for me. To make music and listen to it transfers me to those memories, those different worlds, and I can imagine like where I'm at based on how a song sounds, or I can create whole thoughts about it. So it's one of those things that I hope that I can do as I keep making music. We'll see tomorrow.